Press freedom is one thing that gives the journalists the opportunity to be free and fair in their reportage. This morning, we want to look at something very, very crucial as it has to do with the freedom of press in Nigeria. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and a special welcome to today's edition of The Review. On today's review, we are going to be talking about something that has to do with the journalists themselves. And joining me on the conversation today is Michael Ekene. Good day, Michael.
Good day, sir.
So good that you are even a journalist. So it's good that you are the one talking to me on this topic today.
Yes,
On the Guardian newspaper today, on the review page, we have it that the onslaught on journalists, calls for concern as far as the freedom of press is concerned. What would you have to say about the freedom, of the press in Nigeria as a whole? Because so many things have happened recently, all right, to journalists because of the Freedom of Information bill that was passed by President Goodluck Jonathan gave a lot of freedom to the journalists during his administration. But then a lot is unfolding with this administration as it has to do with arrest of journalists. You know what I'm talking about already. So what do you make of this whole scenario?
Well, in 2023 World Press Freedom Index, it was reported that Nigeria is one of the most dangerous country in West Africa for journalist practices. You know, there've been attacks, physical attacks, death threats, unwarranted arrests. Arbitrarily, they are just being arrested in daily basis, and Nigeria is at the forefront. Even the press attack tracker did that research last year, and we have about 74 cases where journalists were unjustly arrested, and it is perplexing to know that a country like Nigeria that practices democracy still have freedom of press hampered. There's freedom of press on the constitutional body. Is it maintained and practiced? No. The answer is no, because I equally have had incidences of don't say this, don't attack this. During the presidential primaries last year that I conducted some journalist interviews, there are some things you will have to interview some dignitaries. They will tell you, do not ask this question. Do not say this. So freedom of expression for the press, it is still not, we are not there yet. Nigeria is not there when it comes to freedom of journalism. All over the world, you find that journalists have easy access to the White House, to whoever they want to interview. They can say anything as long as it is justifiable and very lawful. But in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. Journalists are always afraid to ask questions, afraid to enter some places. In fact, in some places, there were some cases in Lagos where some reporters of Punch newspapers were just unlawfully, some men would just whisk into their house, took them. In fact, there's a particular case that the wife is still crying right now to Nigerians. There's a particular story that is very, very disheartening and very, very unscrupulous. Security personnel will just come in, take you without telling you what you did. Till today, most journalists are still held in custody, and I will come to that gradually.
But don't you think this practice, because one thing that we always do as journalists is to be objective in our reports, to be fair, and everything that we do needs to go through this process. But don't you think for the fear, of being arrested or being harassed, don't you think that can affect our reportage?
Absolutely. When you have that anxiety that, hey, when I bring an authentic news, the raw news, the truth that I'm supposed to say as a person, not just as a journalist, so that the country will be reviewed, or some secrets going on will be reviewed, because journalists are what we call truth watchers and truth searchers of every nation.
And that's why we're being called the watchdogs.
Absolutely.
Journalists are being called the watchdogs of the society.
Absolutely. Just like we have the military watchdog, the military police being the military watchdog, journalists are the watchdogs of the country. Whatever you feel happens anywhere, there is someone that's why we have special monitoring units. They quarantine and prune every news that is dispensed out there today. Journalists you don't see a journalist that is very, very good in what he does beginning to circulate or disseminate unverified or undedicated news. You've never seen that happen. There is pruning. There's what we call research, information. Journalists do what we call thorough investigation before a news is published. In fact, before even a news comes to a newspaper, the editorial board will have to do their own research also. So I believe journalists are a key members, key factors of societal growth and economic growth, because Ministry of Information do not take journalism for granted, for instance, because the information that is reached out, now information is power to every citizenry. Whatever they hear is what they work with. If you are misinformed, you are deformed as a person. We are the people or the disseminators of information. We are the ones that gives the citizenry power of what to say, of what is happening in the country. Most people do not know that this is what you have to do in the country. This is it. But for every journalist, kudos to you out there. There are so many fearless journalists out there that even in the face of daunting challenges, you see them reporting. You have cases of, attacks in Somalia, Iraq. You see journalists there. There's a bomb behind, but it's a journalist reporting to you. The journalists all over the world, I celebrate you. And I celebrate ourselves too, because we are all journalists here.
All right, congratulations to every journalist out there. Like Michael have said, you guys are doing a great job. Just keep it up, no matter the threat, no matter the harassment. But one day, I think this administration should do something so that freedom of information will be to the latter, and freedom of the press will be practiced as it ought to be. Well, this administration, so far so good. We've heard of some journalists being arrested. Okay, let me ask you this final question before I close the show. As it is, the past administration and this administration, do you see any difference as it has to do with the relationship of the government, all right, and of course the press?
The freedom associated with press, I mean, there are, like I said initially, there were 45 instances last year and even early this year. There's 74 already where the freedom associated with journalism was brutalized. I mean, there were physical attacks. I can particularly mention an ordeal that happened, just in Oba, the birthday of Abeba of Joga Orile, and the just title, they were giving him chieftaincy on Oweleke. Now, the governor was very, very calm and amiable, but his security details were unruly. Journalists were coming in, they were trying to get across, and the security were dragging them out from there. This happened in Ogun State recently. Dragging them. Why are you dragging
But sometimes these security operatives, they seem to take laws into their hands. Does it mean that is what their superior officer told them? Is that what the principal told you to do? Because sometimes you see them treating journalists anyhow. When you want to go for an event, you see them pushing people, not minding whether you were even invited or
There's one that happened close to us in Kwakwalada during the 2023 presidential election. Suspected political thugs attacked the executive director of the International Center for Investigative Reporting, Dayo Ayeto. They beat him up. It wasn't blood. It was something else. There's a Punch news reporter that is still held in captivity. If you ask the Punch editor, they will tell you that he lives in Oba Akoko area of Lagos
State.
They just came, took him. The wife saw two people on army camouflage. The others were on mufti, and he was whistled out of the house. Till today, he's yet to be released. There's so many incidences. So I believe that's why you find out that most truths that are supposed to be disseminated, revealed to the betterment of the country, you find out that people are shying away from telling the truth
because they don't want to be arrested and whisked away.
They will tell you when you're arrested. I mean, your family needs you. Who comes to your rescue? There are so many of them. They've been whisked away. I have never heard about their release or what happened to them. It just died off like that. So many also died in discharge of their duties. So many died instead of there was many people that died instead of bomb blast.
Yeah, I
You
could
know,
remember.
insecurity,
I could remember
unknown gunmen.
Yeah, a staff of channels.
Okay.
I think lost his life.
Yes.
Back then,
Yes,
the
sir.
young man from Benue State,
Benue State, yes, sir. Very
somewhere
true.
in the north,
Very
and
true.
a lot happened to journalists.
Yes, sir.
Journalists even risk their lives, okay, to carry out some investigations, to do some reports. But despite that, they still face this harassment. I think that is not the best. This administration and every government official will need to do something about that, so that their aides don't harass journalists the way they are doing, and people who go to arrest journalists for just for nothing, maybe because they feel people are saying something that is not favoring them. If you want the journalists to say things that favor you, do the right thing.
right thing.
Okay, because the journalists, the press is the watchdog of the society, and they need to say the truth all time. Well, thank you very much, Michael,
Thank you so
for adding your voice to the conversation this morning, and I wish you all the best in your journalistic practice. And every journalist listening to me right now, we wish you all the best. You're doing a good job. Keep doing the right thing. And those who are not doing the right thing, please try and do the right thing, so that you don't spoil the work and the integrity of other people who are doing the right thing. Thank you very much for being part of the review for today. My name is Ramsey. We'll come on your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. Bye bye for now, and have a wonderful day.